up, everyone? Welcome back to the Wake Up, Speak Up podcast. I am your co-host, Hope Amparo, and today we do not have my wonderful husband, Emerson, but that is because we have my wonderful childhood friend and cousin, Alyssa Wilson.
Oh, can't say Derek.
I know, I almost said Jared. She just got married recently, so I keep, because she's my cousin, so I guess it's kind of hard, but hello. Welcome.
Thanks.
I am so excited to have you on. I'm excited.
It's exciting.
Yes. So I guess we're going to start off with the important question. Who is Alyssa Wilson?
Who is Alyssa Wilson? That's a great question, actually.
It is a great question.
It's a great question. It's just, I don't think about those things all the time.
No, I got you.
So like, who am I?
Well, tell me how, so we both grew up in the ministry, right? Yeah. We both grew up in the same church, Raven Daytona Church. I feel like we've literally been together almost in all phases of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
from like Texas to Florida. And so, I mean, we have a lot of similarities. We both grew up being pastors' kids.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess we could start there. What was it like growing up being a pastor's kid in the ministry?
I think like a lot of people, there's a lot of people think it's easy. There's a lot of pressure on it, though, because you're also representing your parent, whoever is the pastor or the leader in the church. But at the same time, I think for me growing up, it was more of you could fake it because you're a pastor's kid, those type of things. And but it's a good thing, though, I feel like, once you mature in it, though, because you realize there's a lot of accountability in it, though, too.
And there's a lot of things that you can be like, oh, I remember that when you come into your walk with Christ.
Yeah, and it's like, and I feel like, not saying the Lord doesn't have a hold of everyone, but, like, there's more of, like, a...
Girl, you can't escape that grip.
Like, you can't, because you're raised in it.
Yeah,
so it's like, not, like, just saying, like, the Lord's like, what are you doing? Like,
haunting you in your dreams and stuff. It's like, I know that I'm supposed to be doing something,
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, I enjoy it. I enjoy being a pastor's kid, being a pastor's grandchild, as we know, too.
Right, of course.
So it's like one of those things of where I think the expectations are upon you as well. Mm-hmm. And the standard for you is higher than anyone else. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people will crumble at that situation. But I know for me, it helps me build myself up to be a better person, to be a better, you can say Christian, but just in my walk with the Lord, because it holds me. Because then everyone's eyes are upon you. Everyone knows what you're doing and they're watching you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, not saying you can't mess up, but it allows you to be like, okay, Lord, what is really like things that are in my life? What am I doing wrong type thing? Because everyone's watching and you have to be that example for people too. So.
I think it's crazy growing up as a pastor's kid. You always have that, I guess, thing in the back of your head that what you said, people really are watching you. But there is a point where all of us come to that state where you're like, okay, I know that this is what my parents are doing. Yeah. But I kind of have to make the choice. And you don't really say it out loud because you're kind of nervous about it. But you're like, I have to make the choice if I want to do this. Myself. And I think one of the questions I want to ask is, when do you think that... Okay, first, let me ask this first question. When did you start realizing that your childhood was different than those around you? Like, that there's that certain spot where you're like, okay, I'm in school, I'm doing things as other kids do, but my life isn't the same. Like, it's not normal what I do. And then you see other people in their family. When do you think that was?
I think more in high school. Because I think that's I saw it, like, looking back, I see, like, maybe, like, middle school, that's when, like, you're 12, 13, 14. Yeah. But
this is really, you're kind of just trying to get through it.
You really are.
You're not even just thinking about it.
You're just being
like,
a
kid. I just want to make it to class without being bullied or something.
Right. And it was just so hard to, like, make friends and be part of people.
I know.
And because you're like, you want to join
camp out there, but I'm like, come on.
You want to join their group. But
now that you get older, you're like, you could have
done better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it was high school because, like, I played sports in high school. Mm-hmm. And in that, there were a lot of, like, tournaments on Sunday or certain days where we had church or even ministry, big ministry, like outreaches and stuff. Mm-hmm. And where I really wanted to go, but my dad mainly, he was like, no,
Yeah.
you cannot, because, the Lord comes first. We have ministry. We have church to go to. And I just never understood it. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, I can miss this one time. Like, I can do it. This is my life. I'm in a sport and playing basketball,
Yeah,
football,
something
all
that's
these,
important to me, yeah.
right. And you're having me give it up just to go to church or an outreach. But I think in like sophomore year, junior year, I was like, okay, I can't really do everything that everyone can do. And so it's like, kind of just live with it type thing. I'm like, all right, I got, like, I'm just do it type. So.
And then I the other thing that I always notice with being raised, because this is something that I tell my husband, because he, obviously we were raised in ministry ever since we were born, but he has a different view because he wasn't. But one of the things that I noticed growing up really quick is that growing up with the Lord, you, like, I guess, just inherit this amount of wisdom and social skills that I feel like people just don't get. Like, you would see people with issues and they'll be like, well, like what we just talked about, like bullying or people being mean or being rude. And I feel like I always knew, I'd be like, well, it's just because you have deeper issues that you don't want to deal with. Something's going on in your heart that you don't want to deal with and talk about. So instead you want to make someone else feel the pain that you're feeling inside. And so I think that there's that difference to feel of like, man, I feel that way, but I don't feel like I have to act on how I feel. But they feel like they do. And so there's a difference there that I feel like being raised in the ministry, that you just inherit that of seeing things around you. Because I would see kids in my class and in school that I would be like, you don't, like, you can tell they're not even concerned with the things around them.
Right.
Or what's going on. It only just is how you affect them. But just by being raised in the ministry, you kind of look at people, because that's what ministry is. It's just people.
Yeah.
So, but I think my next question is what would you say, like what I said, when did you feel like, oh, I have to make the decision myself to serve God, not doing it for my parents' sake?
Crazy enough, it was like the end of college.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Oh, wait, hold on. We have to back up.
Okay, we're going to back up.
Yeah, please back up. So you decided that you wanted to go to college because you played basketball, right? Yeah, and you really, really enjoyed it. Now, correct me if you went all the way to college, right?
Yes.
College basketball? My girl. Just killing it. Don't catch her on the street.
No.
She'll kill it.
It's crazy. I don't know about now.
She's like, Amara's got my knees. I'm just
No.
joking. But that's crazy that you were in. I remember even watching you in basketball. You were so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good at it.
Thanks.
But anyways, so when you were going to college, what did you? Girl, I was over here, so you got to tell me what were you even wanting? What did you go to school for?
I went to school. What's crazy is I changed.
I'm telling on myself because I don't really remember nothing.
No, that's okay. No, I changed my major, I think, at least 3 times.
Oh, see, I'm not hating
like,
on myself too much.
Yeah, so I went in there I wanted to become a why am I going blank on this? A pediatric nurse.
Mm-hmm.
You're a nurse for kids, a doctor for kids, or even a physician, pediatric physician.
Oh, you would be the best at that, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
But then I learned biology really wasn't my best suit. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And then I switched to children's psychology. What's crazy is that through high school, though, I always knew, even with the Lord to say or in church, I always knew that my calling was with kids, no matter what. And even if it was children's church, whatever it was, I wanted to help develop kids because they're the next generation to grow, So I was like, I'm going to be a children's psychologist, to give them another option, then a bunch of medication of saying, here's Jesus, And I feel like even being a pastor's kid, you always have the Lord in the back of your mind still. Even though I wasn't really serving the Lord, I feel like my intentions were still to show him in some way.
Because I feel like you just know that there's just no escaping it. Because I feel like growing specifically in our ministry, there was just no way that I was gonna. So I was just like, I guess I just have to. Even when you're still trying to decide. You're just like, I know I'm gonna end up there.
Just yield.
Yeah, just yield. That's
Just
what I
yield.
say. Just yield. That's the sign. Just
Yeah,
yield.
just
You just
yield.
gotta yield. But anyways, so you're
Yeah.
wanting to go to school for that.
Yeah, and I ended up also changing my major again to be a teacher for like elementary school, like kindergarten and stuff. But like it was a lot. I didn't realize that how much it was to balance basketball, school, and then personally in that time wanting to live my life.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, and I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But I still tried, you know.
So if you don't mind me asking, by the time you got to decide to go to college, because there's always like the moral code that we have, I'm not going to do anything crazy, but then there's the time where you literally can feel in your heart, you're like, this is breaking down. Like my desire because let's just be real, it's like people pleasing. It's not really that you want to please God, because you think about what it says in John. It says, so many times the disciples tell the Pharisees when they're having to give an account for their actions, it's like, we don't want to be, if we were man pleasers, we wouldn't be doing this. So it's like you want to please man and make people think that you're doing the right thing. But when do you think the breakdown was for you?
I think in my third year in college, it was more.
So walk me through that.
So
how do you feel like from the start of the first when you got to college and then the third? What do you think happened in that time?
Well, when I first got to college, I was very excited for it. You're waiting.
As everyone is.
Yeah, I was waiting for my parents, kind of an adult way, and
which is big. Girl getting out of the house, yeah.
It is big, but I still lived at home. I was a commuter, so it wasn't like I was really out of home. But it was, for me, I kept telling myself, because the year before, I tore my ACL and MCL. So I was out. I was out for a whole year from any sport. So just like healing from that, I was like,
do you think that had some like put a damper on your mental? A little bit,
and it really just like I convinced myself with the Lord. I got healed very quickly, and I was like, the Lord gave me another chance to play basketball, and that was like where I convinced myself.
Isn't it so funny? Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's just crazy how that happens. You're like, wow, this is a sign from God. This is it.
Yeah, but it was. There's nothing wrong with going to college. I'm saying that. I'm not saying anything. You play sports, whatever. But it became an idol in my life.
Oh yeah.
But I enjoyed. For me at that time, I remember just like, I had my best time. I felt like, worked out 5 times a day, played basketball, the sport I loved. I made new friends, but then at the same time, like, I hardly saw my family. I never really went to church because I was always on, like, in another state for their game.
Because college is different. You got to be there.
Yeah, you can't, like, you're not something you can choose. Like, you're an adult. Your parents can't choose for you anymore, you know? So, like, I was never really home. And so I think battling with understanding who I was and what I really wanted to do in life of, like, is this really the road I want to take down? Or do I really, like, I don't know. Because like every time I went back home for church, it was like you felt the tug of the Spirit and like weeping and crying every service. And I was still on the worship team still during church. But it was like just an obligation for me.
Yeah.
And so, but I still felt
there was no intimacy there.
Right. But I still felt the tugging from the Lord. So it just been like, oh man, like, what am I doing? And it was hard. And then deciding to go to my second year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do better. Go into my second year. And I just fell into a lot of compromise, a lot of sin of just trying to fit in with my teammates and doing things that...
Would you say the peer pressure you felt like was overwhelming?
Yeah, just doing things I just never thought I would do in general. And so I was just like, okay, like, I don't know. And I also was, like, battling with a lot of, like, mental stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if you give yourself over, especially to compromise and just basically the world and the devil, it's just a lot of things happen in your mind and you just don't know what you're doing. And so
it's like it's almost like a spiritual fog.
Yeah.
Comes over your brain and you feel like you're making decisions and you don't even know really the choices that you're making and the repercussions it might have.
Right. You just don't. And, my parents still supported me in it. And with my mom was always like, you know, whatever, of course she always said, whatever your darkness comes in light, but she said,
Boy, is that being
really
a pastor's kid.
She would just tell me all the time, or she's like, I had a dream. What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom.
I always tell my boys, I tell them so early, I'm like, I just want to let you know, God can help me see your future. Literally. So let's not play. I'm a dreamer. I have dreams. Yeah.
My mom would always like come in and save me though. Like even like in high school.
Oh yeah.
I was going through a lot of stuff and a lot of rebellion, but like it wasn't as open, but it was still rebellion, secret rebellion. And in your heart, yeah, my mom was like, well, Lord just told me to let you have it, let you be whatever you're in, and you will hit rock bottom. She's, I can't continue to save you and stuff. So I was in college. I really felt her like kind of take her hand off the wheel, and I was like, okay, like I get to live my life, and but.
People don't realize that peace leaves, though, and it's scary when it lifts. So scary. It's scary.
It is.
Yeah, I remember being in full blown rebellion, and me thinking, oh, I get to get underneath my parents' house, but I would miss that peace. Yeah, it was insane how much peace I felt in my parents' house because, I mean, the Spirit of God resided there, so it was different. Yeah. It's crazy. But
what's crazy is that, like, even things I did in college, not saying they were horrible things. So I just know I normal. Like I just went to parties with teammates. You know, I drank a little bit in college, but like I wasn't big on it because I really didn't like it. But everyone did it. It's
disgusting.
Yeah, everyone did it. So I was like, you know what, we'll just do it. And didn't do it a lot, but still, like the few times, you're still like, why am I doing this? But I just kept doing it. But even when I went home, like it was like the fear, because I never told my parents anything what happened in college, but it was like, man, like I know the Lord's gonna tell my mom. Like I know these, like I know because my mom, you know, like the Lord gives my mom dreams and talks to my mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just like so much fear and anxiety. I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like I don't know, but I don't know. I think I was going into my junior year, and I kind of felt like enough was enough for me. I was tired of basketball. I was tired of, kind of felt like I was being mentally abused.
Now remind me, is that time, is this the time, there was one point where you won the championship, right?
I did, it was in high school.
That was in high school, I remember that.
Before I tore everything up. My knee up, everything.
God bless the knees.
For real, Lord.
Yeah. When I get underneath that bar, girl, it's like, get a
24. My knees are cracking. I'm like, Lord.
Oh, please. That was crazy.
No, it's just, I think it was just like enough was enough. And I was so drained. And
the world will drain you.
It just, I was done with it. I was in a relationship for 3 years that no one knew about, but only like a few people, like friends to say I had in college and some from high school.
That had to have been taxing, not really having to hide that the whole time and stuff.
Oh, it was hard too. It was
because at this time point, correct me if I'm wrong, you were still like you were still stayed at home. Yeah. So like you'd have to hide like the contacting and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really hard and just
that life.
It was crazy, and I remember like one night, I was just like, okay, Lord, I don't know what to do right now. And it was one of those things of like I know you're real because I've experienced you when I was younger, but I really need you to be real right now in my life. And like, I don't know, whatever it is you need to do, just do, and I'll accept it type thing, because I'm tired, I'm drained, and I can't do this no more. I'm not enjoying this no more, this life that I'm building for myself. I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm tired of it. And like literally like one after the other, like I think like within 1 or 2 days, like not saying like I was really bad with schooling and stuff, like I was just draining that. I just happened to be like, okay, like I don't have to go to my next semester anymore because I don't feel like it. And so I just stopped that. And right after that, it was like, okay, you can't do that. You can't play basketball. I was like, okay. Like it was more like, even though like some people are like, oh, like why?
Your life is falling apart.
Your life falling apart. I was so excited.
Oh, it's because it's like each one is a weight lifted off.
Yeah, it really was. And so even when I went to my head coach and I was like, you know, I've been struggling in school. I've been doing like, you know, I can't do this no more. And so I was like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm leaving the team. Like, not saying I was a big impact on the team anyways. But like, you know, just leaving. And as soon as I like walked out of her office, out of the building, I felt like a weight lifted.
Wow, thank you,
And
Jesus.
I just felt like, and because I knew I already spoke to the Lord, I knew it was the Lord. I'm not gonna cry. We're not gonna cry on this. Sorry, I'm sorry. I haven't talked about this in a long time. I really haven't. I'm sorry. We're not gonna cry.
No, just so you know, together we're the worst. Because, like, literally, we'll be across the room in the church, and I'll see her start crying, and we'll just point like, "Don't you
cry.
Don't you dare!" And then like Alyssa will walk over, and I'll be like, and she'll be like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, oh. It's the worst.
It's horrible, but
he's so good.
It is, but like even just like, cause I called my mom on the way home, and I was like, Mom, I did it. I just quit everything, and I was like, it was such a big weight, and I just like, okay, like what do I do from now? And I already knew like coming to the like, the Lord was like, you need to go to the New Orleans.
Okay, so let's back up. Okay. So we have that, and you made that decision, but there was points, right? Mm-hmm. I know that I hassled you at least once. I know that people were at least once. Because I knew, girl. Because I knew. Like 10. I think I'm pretty sure I'd be like, I have a dream about you, and I just want to let you know. Yeah. I love you. And if you ever felt like it, you should go. The same thing with your sister. When was the point? Because I think at this point, right, I was here, right, living here. So your sister was living here, Clarissa, and then who? Judah? I think we all were here, right?
Everyone left. Judah, Simera, Hank.
Yeah, we were all living here at this point.
It was just me and my brother. That's back there.
Shout out to Isaiah. He's here now.
I know.
Hey.
My brother's here.
We love you.
Bless the Lord. I prayed that in. Just like,
he's a good man. Good bass player. Yes. I got him on my back.
Yes. Good. Yeah, it was more of like, because I would visit. Even though I was in college, I would still visit here. Yeah. Holidays or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And even like coming to your house and seeing your kids, and they were so young, I would break my heart every time I'd come here and be like, I have to like,
where are you going?
Like reintroduce myself and then get attached and then be like, where are you going, Dia? Like I'm like, and it hurts. Yeah. And then my sister got pregnant with her first child, and I wasn't there for her pregnancy at all. Yeah. And bless the Lord, I came just in time for the birth of Silas. But it was just like, I was like, I'm missing out on everything. Yeah. And I think that was that point also. Like,
so let me ask you this. Yeah. So how was it feeling because you're in that time of your life, but what I always tell people is that you'll go through that whole time of your life and you think you're not wasting that much time, but then you see people getting married, having kids, starting lives, and you're like, because whether you're like, I'm still in the same. So how was that? Was that like seeing all that where you're like, okay, I need to kind of get, things together?
It was more just get it together. Yeah. Type thing. Yeah. Because after like, especially in like hidden relationships and stuff, I was like, I don't want to be anything be in any relationship for a while, because I was so drawn to be attached to someone or just have a relationship with someone for longing for love or attention. Not saying I didn't get it at home. My dad loved me. He's a great man, but it's just having that external like peace, you know, and then just seeing everyone and what the Lord was doing in everyone's lives. It was like what am I doing? Because it was like around that time where I kind of decided like, what am I doing with my life type thing. Yeah, you know. Mm-hmm.
And then you said, so this was a time where you said you were thinking about moving here, but what was it that was like, okay, I think this is what I need to do?
I think just when I had a breaking point and everything just started closing, because I knew for about 2-3 years I was supposed to move here.
Oh, wow.
But I just kept shoving it. And I was like, no, and went to college, all that stuff. And so when I finally, like, everything kind of just broke down, I, like, went to my parents and said, listen, I want to go to New Orleans. I want to do this. But, like, because I'm tired, the type thing. And they were all full on board. They were just like, we're just waiting for you to get yourself together type thing, you know? Yeah. So, it's a great thing of being to finally repent.
Repentance.
And it was crazy, like, you say that, like, I think, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's your husband.
Oh, is it? Hello?
They're at the gate at my house.
Oh.
I forgot it goes to my phone. I was like, who is Baton Rouge? Just like, it's my apartment gate.
Oh, that's insane.
That is crazy. Well, yeah.
I was like,
I was like, who's calling? I was like,
okay, so wait, where were we? So you had to made the decision, right?
Yeah.
To come.
So I spent like, I think 2-3 months just working, saving up money and stuff. So I wanted to be stable, but
so if you could tell like a listener, what would be the difference? So you were in college, you were doing all this stuff, but what is it that the TC you felt like offered you? Or like what did you feel? Because you're a pastor's kid, so you could have just said, hey, I'm just going to not be in college and still stay at my home church. It's enough. What do you feel like was the pushing that pushed you to be like, I want to go to the TC? And what is it?
I think it was more of accountability.
Yeah.
Not saying there's no accountability in our home church. It was just, it's Daytona. You have the beach. You know, there was more ministry here.
Yeah.
And it was a more area where, not saying you're being watched, but you're in constant discipleship.
Yeah, and then also there's a comfort that when you grow up in that city.
Yeah, that too. I had to get out of that. I remember telling Pastor Aaron that. I was like, and my parents was like, I'm just too comfortable here.
Yeah.
And so I had to get out of a place, and like I don't like New Orleans, but I love the ministry here.
Yeah.
And it's just just coming here, like you
leaving the Sunshine State.
Literally.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, and shout out to Pastor Aaron because I think it's cool that because then he was like, I think you should go.
Yeah, he said the Lord like spoke to him about it.
What a great pastor. Because most pastors are like, no, I think you should stay here. We could grow you. You're a part of our worship team. Yeah. We can't let you go. But Pastor Aaron's really awesome and just being like, hey, whatever God wants for your life.
So, just wanting you to grow in the Lord. You know, he's great.
Fantastic.
So great.
Him and Destiny.
Yes, both of them.
They're old, but they're great.
Very great. But I think it was one of the best decisions I've had in my life because I think it was mainly I was missing my siblings, missing everyone here.
Yeah.
And so I felt comfort even with, like, even being here. Like, your house was basically my second home here my first year.
Oh, I know.
So it was very comforting for me not to feel alone and but I was still held accountable by you and Emerson and just other people in the ministry itself. And so it was just it was great to feel that, to like understand that, okay, like I'm not just by myself here, like not understanding what I'm doing, getting actually like real discipleship in my life. And so it was a great decision in my life to move down here. So
it's funny that you mentioned that because I literally was thinking as I was getting dressed earlier, I was thinking that time period of you coming here, I was like, God specifically had us in a season where we got really, 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 we've always been close, but really close for you to kind of like do that foundational. And then it's just like you go to different places in your life. Now you're married. Yeah. We're going to get into that. Now you're married, all that stuff. And so it's just so cool how there's specific seasons in your life where God will bring people that are always closer to you, but get them more close so you can have a foundation, or it's almost like people are used as a stepping stone to get to where you get you where you need to get. But so we go to the internship, and I'm sure it's like an absolute, like, I mean, to me it was shock from going there to there because the amount of things you do in a week is unreal.
Most definitely.
Which is amazing, but it's crazy.
And you have to be an adult on your own too, like get a job.
We don't talk about that enough. Have y'all seen milk prices? I don't want to talk about that.
Like you get a job, like, you know, we paid rent to say, but like it's tuition basically. But it's $350, which was really cheap for anyone who is not an adult. That's cheap for a living.
She's like, try finding an apartment.
It's like $1,200 so.
For a 1-bedroom,
literally. And so it's just like, but like, it's an adulting thing. I know it was hard for me because I'm like, my parents have always been there for me. And as I was like calling my mom, my mom was like, you got to pay your own car insurance. You got to pay this. And I was like, what? Like, just one of those things. Got a job, and it was just
Yeah.
great because like my roommates were like, I had Simera before, like shortly before she got married.
What a roommate to have.
Great roommate.
Fantastic. We love you, Samir.
And who else was? I don't even know who my other roommate was at when I first got there.
It wasn't Angela, huh?
No, Angela was already married.
Oh, that's right. It's my wonderful brother.
She was like married for like a year by that time.
See, it shows you how much I know.
That's
I remember.
crazy.
I have issues. I have 3 kids. It's okay.
But it was great having like Simera there because when I was really struggling, like just in the middle of the night, like she was there to help and pray for me and just really speak with me. So it was really like very comforting.
Having a friend that'll pray for you is like, for a woman, I feel like, is game changing.
Most definitely. Even correct you as well.
And love, yeah.
And love is great. I think it's just, it was a big, like eye opener. Like I already worked at home, like back in Florida, but you know, kind of providing for yourself, you know, grocery shopping, all that stuff. And so when I'm going to doctor's appointments by myself. I'm like, I don't have my mom. But it just allowed me to step into like the next stage of my life and really, really understanding, like when I moved here, like I even told my mom, I was like, I'm not here to court nobody. I'm not here for nothing.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that my relationship with the Lord is solid because I know that
huge.
But it was hard though too. And to really just block everything out, block old relationships, everything.
And correct me if I'm wrong. So when you moved here, you ended the relationship that was there for 3 years, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And then so after that, you came here. So when do you feel like your relationship with God, because it was kind of at the base at that point, right? So when do you feel like it started growing and you started experiencing the Lord more?
Yeah, I think more in my second month here is when I really like finally, because I was still holding on to things from home. And so when I finally was like, I heard the Lord was like, you have to let go of everything, and finally let go of everything. And I was like, man, like it really helped me. And the Lord, I just felt the Lord really build my heart to be more wanting to know him more. And so ministry, like that became more of an interest in me, to me.
Yeah.
Because like even when I first got here, I was like, I was still like not wanting to really pay attention in church or in ministry, just talk whenever we're going on the streets on Bourbon Street. Like I really didn't want to do nothing. But then when I finally let go of everything and finally was like, all right, Lord, like here's everything finally, it was like, oh, I really was like, let's go minister. I really want to listen to what whoever, Pastor Alex, Pastor Roy, Pops, like whoever's preaching, because I wanted to deposit inside my heart of what's going on. And so I think that was the point of like, okay, the Lord is like, we're about to really fix things inside your life. And I was like, okay. It was really like a lot of tearing down and building up and tearing down. Yeah. But it was great.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It really is. Because I feel like when you move from wherever you're at and you come here, it's like the Lord's like, okay, we're about to hammer some stuff. And then you're just like every week at church, you're like, like weeping the entire time. But what would you say you feel when you finally let go? And because there's going to be listeners on that are like, I don't know how to take that next step and really push towards the Lord and let those things go. What do you feel like happened in your life when you just finally said, okay, whatever you want for my life is best for me? What do you think happened? How did you feel after you did that?
I think it was more of like a relief. Like you feel a change in your life of where the things that you really liked the most or paid more attention to, you didn't anymore. And wanting just to spend time in his presence more became more sweet to me. And it was like, oh man, like it's a relationship with the Lord, you know? So you're like, okay, this is sweet. Now I want to get to know you more. Like, it's like one of those things, like, you're in a relationship with God. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so
why does he want to talk to me, girl?
I know. So it was just like,
I love him.
Yes, it was just great. But there's, I think, changes of the way I spoke and what I was watching still. Like, I was like, I can't watch this no more. Is this not of the Lord? Because
And no one had to tell you.
oh no, it's like when you start spending time with the Lord, you start to love the things you love and hate the things he hates, and which is, I think it's beautiful. So it's like
Stunning.
even just taking one step, it won't change like immediately. It's you putting that effort into it. So I was like, okay, like, Lord, you lifted my weights off of me, my bondage and my chains off of me right now, and I feel a peace and a comfort from you right now, and I feel like your presence is so sweet right now. So I'm like, what more do you have for me? And so that became like diving into the word, and that really helped when they did the 90-day challenge, because it was like, as much as I've read the Bible, I've really never read the Bible
Cover to cover, yeah.
but just read the Bible in general, like understanding, oh, I can finally see the Lord's heart in this. And so even just like I would just be reading the Old Testament and be crying because I'm like, oh, Lord, you're so sweet and so merciful in these things. And like, what in the world? Like, don't cry, dude.
I'm not trying to.
Don't cry.
If you say don't cry, I'm probably gonna start
I'm
crying.
sorry because I see your face. But
I think about the scripture when he's like, "Don't you understand that I would like to bring you towards me as a nursing mother would?" And it's like there's nothing.
It's wonderful.
And that's right after the Israelites, they were in complete rebellion. It's like, who is like the Lord? Who is like him? But I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'll start crying.
You might as well. It's so sweet to learn these things, and you're like, man, like that was for me though. Like just reading that, I'm like, this is God, and if he's like this towards his children, like in Israel at this time, how much more is he going to be for me during this time?
Oh, yes.
You know?
Oh, yes.
And yes, we didn't have like the whole fire from brimstone and all that stuff going on, even though I feel like it still can happen anytime.
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want. But just understanding just how sweet he is. And then getting to know that, and even asking the Lord just to speak to me or guide me again, because being away from him so long, you cut his voice out.
Oh yeah,
because he's always speaking, but you have to incline your ear to it, listen to it. But I stopped listening to the Lord. I stopped wanting to engage in his presence, even though I knew it was there, because being a pastor's kid, being in the presence of God so much, you know what it feels like.
Oh yeah.
And so it was hard.
It's unmistakable.
It's crazy. Like, it's hard for me, like, even when I knew when the presence of the Lord was there, to resist it. Like, I really don't want it right now. And so I'm like, man.
It's wild because I was listening to someone I really like to listen to, and she said something that was unbelievable to me. She said, the presence of God is so strong in its nature that you cannot leave the same.
Yeah.
So either you're more yielded or you're more hardened.
Yeah.
It's just your choice.
Yeah.
And that's insane. So every time you come in the presence of God and you feel that tug, you're either rejecting it and become more hard, or you're accepting it to become more soft.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. Presence of the Lord is an insane thing.
It is. It's crazy. Because it'll expose so much stuff to you.
I mean, instantly.
I'm like, what?
That's what I said. I'm like, okay.
I was like, where was that?
I know. You'll be singing the song and all of a sudden the Lord's like, let it go. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, okay.
It's crazy.
And like we're in like a Pentecostal like church, the good, just the good one.
Self-control, fruits of spirit.
Hello, it's all there. It's all there. If you read the Bible, it's all there.
Please.
Someone just pick it up. But where people will literally have words of knowledge, or you just can't run. So you'll be like, well, Lord, maybe the Lord's not talking, and someone will be like, no, the Lord's talking to you, and you're like, okay, well.
Okay, I'll listen. I'm sorry.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna make you say my name out loud. So thank you, appreciate it.
Yes, but I think it's just beautiful because I'm like, man, like, I'm not perfect. I've done many things, and I think my whole life, I've always struggled with, like, I've done this rebellion so many times, gone back to the same sin so many times, said that I've repented, but really gone back to it. And where at one point, like, when my dad was talking to me, like, when is enough for you? And I was like, well, where would I go now? I've done so much. How can the Lord forgive me for this? And I was like, man, like getting back to it, I'm like, Lord, who am I? Like, who am I to you, Father? And just understanding that it doesn't matter what you've done. As long as you fully repent, you can come. And so that was like a big thing for me when I let everything go. When I let everything go, I was like, the Lord really was like, come on, like you can come to me now. And I was like, it just made me so happy. Like it was such a joy. It's just, sorry. It was just such a joy for it because you go through so much.
Oh yeah.
And it tears you down, but the Lord's like, come on. Like,
I've been waiting for you.
I've been waiting for you. And what makes it even greater is when you have the people of God, especially like your family, like you, my sister, have been praying for so long.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like you're welcomed in open arms and just love. And so
nothing is held against you.
No.
You know?
It's
just
so
a clean slate.
That's what made it easier. That it was like me and my sister sat down one time and she was like, what did you do? Like, what was going on? And I just explained everything to her and she was like, what? She was like, no. Like, all these things.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, you're here now type thing. And it's like, that's my sister. It's my second mom. Same, like, that's my second mom. She raised me. True. But it's like, it was just great. Like, for anyone who's just like, I don't know. Can I even do this, or just surrender their life to the Lord? The Lord just wants you to take step to step to him.
And it's wild seeing you now where you're at. That Alyssa that was coming out of college would have never thought just where you're at.
Nope.
Yeah. And even just at what I've seen, even from you moving here to now, like you're like a completely different person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm not gonna talk too much about it.
It's crazy.
I love you so much. But it's such a beautiful thing when the Lord takes you to a place where he doesn't even remember all the things that you've done and he just talks to you how he knows you're gonna be, which is such an amazing thing to me. He doesn't see where you're at. It's always like he understands the beginning from the end. So he puts you in that place where you can almost, not in a woke way, but you can believe in who God sees you to be. So you can believe and you can accept those things. If I really am loved and I've been paid for by the blood of Jesus, I really can be more than an overcomer. And there actually is no condemnation for those that are in Christ Jesus. Because I feel like I see a lot of believers, especially people that have grown up in it, and I see them living a defeated life, and I'm like, but you don't have to live that way at all. There's really freedom and peace in him, and I think that it's just such an amazing testimony. See where you've been and then where you are now, and then we have to get to the point where you talk about how you're in the internship, and we met
my wonderful husband.
Good old Lou. I love it.
My very wonderful husband that I have. Yeah.
Wonderful. What a guy. Which
is crazy because not gonna lie, like he was a big part in my first year. It was crazy because I wanted, of course, to make friends and stuff. And I'm just saying, my husband's a handsome guy. He is. So, of course, when I got here, I was like, wow, he's handsome. Like, he's good looking. But I knew what I was here for. I was like,
you were very, like, that's not what I'm here for.
I'm not. Like,
I remember.
I was like, I can't. Like, I'm not here for that, whatever. But I remember the Lord, like, asking the Lord, it's like, Lord, I'm not ready for that. I know I'm not. I said, but whenever you know that I am ready, you can reveal that to me. And so I remember telling that to the Lord, even, like, while I was here my first year. And because I get comfortable, like I'm a friendly person. I like talking to people. And so even with
just funny because I feel like you're more of an introvert, but you can be very extroverted. Is that the word, extroverted? Okay. Okay.
I can be both ways. It depends. I think that's the whole being a pastor's kid.
You could be by yourself. Good
people.
But you could also be in a room and be like, it's okay, I'll just stay here. I've had too much.
I'm gonna recharge my battery.
Yes.
Like even when times like we go to the gym in the morning and we would see him there and I'm like, I just didn't know. And little did I know, the Lord spoke to him while he was speaking to me. Like, we have to really we can't go at the same time, because I was attracted to him, but I wasn't there for that. And so I went up to him and was like, hey, I'm just not going to go to the gym at the time you're going in the morning. I'll
Yeah,
go
I
at a
remember
different
that, yeah.
time and stuff. And just seeing, like, with him, him doing ministry, because he was very ministry driven. He did a lot of ministry, helped Pops a lot of things, and was a leader with the guys in the internship.
Yeah.
So it was like seeing that, of like knowing his testimony, where he came from and where he really wanted to be and how he acted now, was like, that's great. And so, like, even for someone who wasn't raised in the church, you can still be a leader, still be held by the Lord at a high standard, things like that.
Both of our husbands are examples of that. Praise God.
Very true.
Yes, praise God.
Yes. So if you're not raised in church, that's okay.
Yes.
The Lord still uses you.
Yes, he
in
does.
great ways.
Yes, very mighty man.
And it's just like
thankful, very thankful.
Very thankful. And he pushes everybody. Every new intern, he pushed everyone to preach on the mic, to be out of their comfort zone.
Which is so weird. We're not going to get too much into it because I know Em's going to have him on, but he didn't want to do any of that at first, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But now seeing him, it's like you would never even know that.
No. Which I really didn't know him, though, even before the internship. So I can't be like, he's different.
Yeah.
I've only known Saved Lou.
Yeah.
That's it. Which I'm glad.
Yeah.
I am very glad. But I think in that time when the Lord's working in my heart, he's working in his heart too. And I think at the close to the end of my first year, because at the internship, after your first year, if you are interested in marriage, you can court somebody. And
you can make it known,
You make it known and get to know them, which I think is the greatest thing ever.
Well, because that first year, you're weeding out a bunch of stuff and just really getting that firm foundation. That's why it's just it's so important going into marriage.
It is. But even like I've been like, even when I was courting him, people have asked me, are you in a relationship? It's like, yeah, I'm courting someone. They're like, courting?
Yeah.
Like, that's so like, I don't know, they were like, that's the 1700s or like so old.
Yeah. And I want to be like, did you realize that those marriages lasted till they were
literally
gone? Yeah, they lasted.
But even with that, like I said, I asked the Lord, like, Lord, you tell me when I'm ready for this next step.
That's
because
beautiful.
I've put the Lord first. I remember when your mom, we had like more of the women's meetings, and it wasn't your mom. It was, I'm gonna butcher her name, Sister Kenya. Kenya.
It's Kana. I think it is.
I was like, I'm gonna butcher it. I love her. She is a powerful woman of God.
She's amazing. Yeah.
She came down and she spoke about having God as your husband first. And I was like, okay, like, I'm understanding, like, he's the one you go to every time. He is when you're worried about something or you need anything, he's your provider. He's your protector, the one you run to and stuff. And so when I finally fixed myself towards that, it was like a complete switch in my mind of like, I don't need any. I'm saying I really didn't. I was like, I don't need anyone else right now.
Yeah.
I just need the Lord. And that is
feminist.
I'm
just for that point.
Just for that point.
Don't do that.
Just the Lord was my husband.
Yes.
He will always be
so healthy. So healthy, yeah.
Yeah, be my first husband. And he would like just to come to him and be in his presence. That really was a big shift in my life and in my mindset of like, okay, Lord, I need to put you absolutely first.
Yes.
I need to be submissive to you.
Yes. Because the Lord teaches you, all the women that want to get married, you have to learn how to submit to the Lord so that he can teach you how to be a good wife and submit to your husband and then be a good mother and so on and so forth.
Yeah. It was great though. It's been so great. And then just, are we getting into the courting part, or
it's up to you, girl. Wherever you want to go. But this is a boat. We're just cruising. We're just going for it.
But like even into that, so even
please, because I feel like people don't even know about it or know the benefits of it and what it does for you and for your future husband. So yes, please.
Oh, so when I first got here, like I explained, I was attracted to my now husband. And I told the Lord, I'm not, like, I told everyone I'm not here for that. And I really just put those feelings in the back.
Yeah, girl, you had me convinced.
Back burner. I was like, I'm not here for that. I'm not here to play games.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear this whole matchmaker game thing. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And as I got to the end of my first year, the Lord, ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a wife and a mother. And my favorite scripture is Psalms 34:7. I'll probably get those mixed up, or 37:4. I think it's 34:7. It says, delight yourself in the Lord, he shall give you the desires of your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, it was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I just praise God and, live for him, and I could get whatever I want. But even the things were like, at that moment where I felt I wasn't worthy enough to be married, or to be like, I'd be someone's wife because of everything I went through.
Yeah. The devil will make you feel like that too.
Yeah,
He will.
literally. When I put the Lord first and had like proclaimed, I'm like, you're my husband, Lord. Like, you're the first one I run to. He built that, I like, the worth in me, like feeling like, I am worthy to be someone's wife.
Yeah.
He created me to be a godly, strong woman, and then have me be a helpmeet to somebody,
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm trying to think. I asked the Lord towards the end of my internship. I said, Lord, I've always found him attractive, and I said, Lord, if it's really for your will for this to happen, I was like, please let me have the feelings I had for him back.
Oh, wow.
And
so they kind of because you pushed it so far down, it kind of had been like not gone, but like they were definitely in the back burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let them come back to where, not where it's too much, where I'm like obsessing, but like to where I feel like I know this man who's supposed to be my husband. Yeah. And I just remember the Lord.
Because for pastors' kids, that's scary.
It is very scary.
I know that some people can just be like, hey, I think they're pastors' kids, because we've seen, and it's unfortunate, you've seen so many people come and go. It's like, I need to make sure. I'm pretty sure when Emerson was like, I want to marry you, I'm like, are you gonna serve God forever? Do you want to be like, not just this ministry is my DNA, like I like all of these things, like I don't ever want to leave this. So like I'm not some girl that's just like whatever you want. I want to serve Jesus my entire life. So I think for someone who's legit in a pastor's kids, finding your spouse is so important.
It is,
because it puts the trajectory of your whole life. However it's gonna go, especially if you're a wife, is gonna be where your husband goes, because that's how it's supposed to be. So it's an important decision.
It's very important. And I remember the Lord just giving me dreams of like showing me that he was supposed to be my husband. But I knew that like I'm not the one to pursue him. He's supposed to pursue me.
Healthy. So healthy.
So it's like I never was like trying to be like really press on it and be hard.
And you ain't that person anyways.
I'm not.
No.
But
You're just chilling.
I'm like, if it happens type thing. But I was like, I knew it though, even when I first got here. I remember the Lord telling me this. But I was like, Lord, if it's true, it'll come later. Yeah. But right now I need to put you first. Yeah. So those feelings came back. I had like 2 or 3 dreams about just him being my husband. And I was like, okay. And I really didn't tell anybody, though. Like, I didn't tell my dad. It was just crazy. I didn't tell my mom. Nothing. And I just was like, okay. I think I talked to you about it.
Yeah, you did.
And we were like, okay. They're like, you should go talk to Pops. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll just go talk to Pops. Yeah. So I talked to our leader and talked to Pops. And
Side note, I had talked, because we were close with Lewis, me and my husband, and so we still are. But I literally was like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe Lewis and Alyssa, and every now and then, because she had been here for a year, he'd be like, you don't think? And I'm like, she said no. She said no. And I'm like, and she really doesn't like him, I'm promising you. So when you said it, you were like, I was like, what? I was like,
I like him.
You're telling me? At that point, I was so excited. I was like, "You're telling me my dreams have come true?"
Crazy. So
Because
crazy.
we were so close to Lewis, and we were so close to you too. Because you were
Yeah.
always over, and like I was like, "So you telling me we could have y'all over all together?" But
That's
anyways, I'm sorry.
crazy.
I should have thrown
No.
that in there.
That's crazy. No, y'all are crazy. No, just talking to Pops, I will say this. Having a leader over you,
Sorry, that light just came on.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Having a leader over you who is constantly seeking the Lord and just hears from the Lord is it's so peaceful.
Come on.
And so when I walked into his office and just sat with him, like it was like I'm not meeting with my grandfather, I'm meeting with my pastor right now.
Oh yeah.
And just explaining how I felt and just he's like, okay. He's like, just wait. Because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're not supposed to go after him. Like, all right, I like you. You're going to be my husband. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, just wait. And it was just crazy how everything just happened and was orchestrated. Because I talked to Pops. And then at that time, my husband, he was on a missions trip in Florida. And apparently his feelings really started to develop again. And the Lord was really speaking to him, which you'll see more, of course, when he's with Emerson. Like, just like...
Which is just so stunning how the Lord did that.
Right.
Goodness, he's so mindful. If you allow him to, he'll just do everything for you.
And that's where I really get, like, the whole, like, Psalms 34:7.
Oh, yeah.
I delighted in the Lord. I put my life in him and gave everything to him. And he knew I wanted to be a wife. He knew I wanted to be these things. And so he's like, I think you can do these things. And so I was like, okay. So I still haven't told my parents, not nobody.
Yeah.
And so when he comes back, I already spoke to Pops. I told my sister. And my mom is like, what is going on? You're talking to your sister in private. Like, and she just happens to be down here, which is really crazy. And he calls my dad to ask to court me. And so my mom is like, my mom kind of figures, my mom's very observant.
Yeah.
And a little nosy, y'all, but I love my mom.
Yeah.
But even we were at
moms are.
They
it's
are.
Okay.
They're
it's
concerned
okay.
for their children.
I would like to say I'm not gonna be, but I probably will be as well.
You will.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
It's not.
It's being concerned for your
I feel
child.
like my husband will temper me. He'll be like, he literally sat me down and was like, honey, there's gonna be a time where you won't be in this. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's true.
That's crazy.
It's true. There's a time.
Yeah. But I remember we had Wednesday night services at that time. And my mom...
I remember all this going down.
It was crazy.
It was crazy how it went down.
Yeah, because my husband was trying to do like a whole business thing with the Tesla thing. And I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, Lewis just bought a Tesla. You want to like run it out, like do the Toro thing where people can use it. And my mom was like, my mom went to him asking about the Tesla, saying, hey, I heard some good news about you and stuff. And he gave like everything to my mom, was like, yeah, like you see, and like showed my dad's phone number and stuff. My mom was like, what? Like she was thrown off.
Oh, so she didn't do that on purpose?
She didn't. She was really just going there to talk about the Tesla. And so in the middle of service, my mom is like, I see my mom like, okay, what's going on with her? She grabs me in the middle of service. She said, you better tell me right now what's going on, Alyssa. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, there was a young man in there that has your dad's phone number, and I need to be there for you to advocate to your father this is what you want. Because if he goes in there and talks to your father and he doesn't know how you feel, because at this moment, my dad just knew I didn't want to be married right now. I didn't like nobody.
Well, and it's insane because that's the actual way to do it. But because it's the daughter, you're like, I haven't even expressed, but you're just now coming upon like these feelings and like it being real and this is what you want. So it's like, so I remember it was so much at one time.
It was
like a wave, like a tsunami.
I didn't even sleep that night. It was crazy. Because it was like, okay, he called my dad. And my dad was telling me that, like, my dad told me that he was like, okay, let me talk to my daughter. And he just, like, put him on pause. I'm going to Chase, which is a bank. I'm in the parking lot. I'm on the phone with my dad. And he's like, what is going on? Do you like him? And I was like, Dad, I really like him. I heard the Lord speak to me, especially my husband. And he was like, okay. And it was like a weird,
Wow,
it was so weird.
Wow,
He was like,
because I know your dad is just like,
it was hard. He was telling me it was hard for him
oh,
because me and my dad are
his
tight.
baby.
We're so close, yes. I'm a daddy's girl. So
Yes.
it's really hard. And I was just crying on the phone with my dad. I was like, Dad, I really like him. And I know he's supposed
What
to
a
be my husband.
stunning
And
thing.
I'm like going back and forth in the parking lot, in the Chase parking lot. And he was like, well, he asked me to court you. He said something. I was like, he asked me to court you. And I'm like jumping up and down. And I'm like going. I was like, my mom was like, what's going on? I was like, he asked him to court me. And Dad said yes and stuff. And he was like, okay. And he's like, I can hear my dad crying on the other line. And I'm like,
oh my goodness, what a surreal moment.
It was like, oh my God. What really felt was like, I don't even want to see Pride and Prejudice. And it was
I still haven't.
That's crazy. There's a scene in there where the main character, her name's Lizzie, which I get my nickname from. And she's really close to her dad. And her dad, like, loves her. I don't say the most, basically the most. They're closer. And so when she comes to him and is like, I love him. And he's like, you really do love him. And then he's like, he's like, okay. And like, because he's already asked for her hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, if anyone, young man wants to come in and marry my other two daughters, you can come ahead. And he's like, he's like, my heart just like
left.
Yeah. And so I'm like thinking that. And my dad's like, I felt this moment. Because that was like me and my dad's favorite movie to watch together.
Wow.
So it was like.
Isn't it beautiful how the Lord's so mindful of that though?
It is.
Everything. Girl, I thought that was.
I was so calm too.
But that's so beautiful.
It was
stunning.
It was so amazing because for once in my life, I didn't pursue a relationship that was ungodly, and that I knew the Lord's hand was upon it.
So healing.
So healing. It was so amazing. And just to know that, okay, the Lord's orchestrating this. I know it is. And if we both keep in the Lord's will, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, but we were both so excited. And even telling his mom, I was so shocked by his mom. His mom was like, my baby's going to be my baby. And really excited.
Wow, yeah.
And I just found out the other day, I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, when we left lunch after church with her, she was crying and was just like, I'm just so happy. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, so many blessings in this situation. And so courting him, I was like,
you are the picture perfect daughter now. Em always says when all this was happening and transpiring, he would always be like, if the boys could find someone like Bug, I'd be really happy.
Oh,
so
sweet.
You're
so sweet.
He loves you so much.
I love him too.
But man, what a beautiful thing. But that's life in the Lord.
It was crazy. Man. It was great. And just courting, and during courtship, that's when I entered the wives class, excellence wives class, and that tore me, like, because you think you know what it takes to be a wife.
Oh yeah,
and like just know like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to take care of the house and all these things, but to know like the godly standard that the Lord has for you, and that being a wife or a woman in the Lord is way more than what the world puts it as.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he views us so much higher. Like, we are a helpmate. We are there to help guide our husbands, to support them, to pray for them, to be there for them. And I was like, man, like, this is so, like, it was such an eye-opener for me. And the Lord was like, even in this time, the Lord was like, you have to get rid of this out of your life.
Yeah.
Because you can't carry this into a marriage. We have to heal this for you right now. This whatever is going on, rejection that you have. We have to heal this right now before you get into that.
That's why discipleship is so unbelievably important.
It's very important, and it allowed me to heal and to really put a lot of baggage and to open up to him as well, of like things that I've been through, and to understand who he is and how his heart, and to be sensitive at that, but also to work out like I think one of my favorite things is that what Pops and Grant says is like, you want to be a wife or a husband, start acting like a wife or a husband.
Start carrying yourself like
literally. And so that really was like, okay, like I'm not his wife right now, but I'm gonna carry myself as if I am a wife. I'm you know, I'm a bride of the Lord, you know, I'm supposed to carry myself that way. And so it was just I think everyone should go through courting. It's the best thing ever.
It's the best thing.
It's so great. And to be held accountable by leaders during that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
And then also just having someone saying, you're worth me waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Till we get married. Like, you're worth that
Most
to me.
definitely.
And then but I think that people don't understand the foundation that it sets up for your marriage, because you're saying, I was willing to lay down my wants, my desires, because I feel like you as a wife being right with God is more important than what I would want as a man. And that carries over into so many things in marriage. Yeah. And then the communication that you learn, you're able to communicate in a safe environment. Yeah. And if there's, there's those bumpers that are there just in case, and the accountability that you have, the growth that you're able, and then you also carry in good friendships that you've, you get counseling from, or you just have that are good companions that you are able to say, hey, you can still hold me accountable, but I want that friendship to carry on. Like, I want us to still be able to have a friendship, which is, I feel like, is so lost in today's churches. People holding each other accountable and being like, hey, you're falling off in this area, or hey, you said you wanted to do this. I'm just reminding you of that. And it just creates a better life to live in God.
Yeah. Honestly, you helped me a lot do that. You're one of the main people who held me accountable in a lot of things, in many ways, because I would hold a lot of emotions in. I know. I remember you just telling me, Lord's giving me a dream about you. What's going on? Yeah, I remember. Sometimes I'd be like, darn it, Lord. Really?
I'm not even joking. Sometimes I'd be like, she's gonna get so sick of me.
It just ended up me crying.
I call you and I'd be like, hey, you'd be like, hi. Like give me a dream about you. You'd be like, really? Remember, sometimes you'd be on your lunch break because you got the job way before you even. Yeah. So, oh yeah, but he's so good. I just think it's so amazing how much, and even seeing you and Luz together, and how y'all are so in the same mind and the same vision on things. Yeah. It's just really powerful, because unfortunately, a lot of things that you see is one of the spouses will be on fire for God. Yeah. This is what they want. This is what they desire. But the other one's like, well, I want to go over. I still want to do the Christian thing and know God, or say I do, but I want to go and live my own life, when Jesus doesn't call us to do that. He says, if you want to, find your life, you have to lose it for my sake.
Oh, what's crazy is when you first court, you have that meeting with Pops and Grands. Mm-hmm. And so when I spoke to Pops on my own, I told him that I was like, I know that he will be ministry driven. Mm-hmm. He's going to stay with this ministry itself, but mainly I know he's going to stay with the Lord. Like,
that's huge.
By his fruit that he's producing, I know that he will be steady and strong with the Lord and won't go away. And that even if we do move from here, that's the Lord speaking to him, that won't be just moving off a whim or off of feelings, And so when we first got into our meeting, Pops told me to say it again. So I'm telling him of why I'm like, I know for sure this is more. Yeah. I know what it is. And he has so many attributes of my dad itself too, which really was like I know this in general.
Yeah.
And later when we had our first courting meeting, he's like, what's crazy is that I literally was like, if she's not in ministry, if she's not doing this, if she's not ready to stay in the Word, and she was like, because I don't want it. I want a wife who's driven by the Lord. And I was like, it was because our mindset was synced.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like,
it's because you're seeking God, and He's gonna dude.
It was crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. And just even because I'm a very simple person as it is. So we've had friends who were engaged and had these big engagement proposals. Well, nothing against it. It was beautiful.
Stunning.
It just wasn't me. And even because we watched a friend get engaged, and he was like, is this what you want? As we got closer to deciding we really want to get married. And he's like, is this what you want? It's like, no, I just want my family to be here and my friends, and it'd be great. That's all I want. And I think my proposal was the best thing ever. I couldn't
so amazing
picture anything else for it. I think it was great, with the Christmas, because Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and just having his family there and just my family and our church family and everyone there. I was just like, wow, like it just felt so like so loved and just so it was just so great. And just that just made me excited. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm engaged, about to get married.
Yeah.
And just understanding this is real now. Like
Yeah.
I'm about to be a wife. And but even in that time, it's like I'm not his wife yet, so I still have to make sure I'm with the Lord still.
Oh, yeah.
That the Lord is still my first husband.
Oh, yeah. And that's where I think it kind of falls off for some people.
It
They're
does.
like, okay, well, I found what I wanted. But it's weird when you get, well, it's not weird. It's a holy thing. When you get married, you're just starting.
Yeah.
Like, that's the starting point. Because now, you know, 2 are more effective and a 3/4 folded cord isn't easily broken. So it's like you are just now starting your ministry.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think that all of us are really just on the cusp of what God would have for us, which is insane.
It's great. And it's a great testimony, too. And that's because, you know, we didn't have our first kiss until we were married.
Stunning.
Like, any of that. Like, for me, it was a lot of firsts. And bless the Lord, because I went through a lot.
Yeah.
That he even helped me keep myself from my husband. And so it was just a beautiful experience to know the Lord was there. That even on our wedding day, it was just, we were both like, we were just so happy and just so joyful.
You could feel the Lord.
And it was like, I wasn't worried about nothing. I was so excited to be joined with this man.
You were, side note, you were such a stunning bride.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you were so beautiful.
Thank you. I felt like a princess, too.
You were. You still are. But you were then,
thank
too.
You.
I love you.
It was such an amazing day. And just to know that you did it right. You did it righteous and holy. And me and my husband always talk about that. We're like, we're just so excited because we did it right. We didn't wait or let our temptations or and our feelings and desires take over us during our engagement time, because we had a long engagement and it was hard for us as we got deeper into our engagement of like, we just want to be married, like, you know, you long for each other still, but allowing the Lord just to submitting to the Lord, allowing him to really just bring those like temptations and everything away. I'm like, okay. And then just our wedding day, we were just like, the Lord is faithful.
Yeah, he
was
can
just
keep
so faithful to keep us and just be with us. So we're just like, man. And it's like, he is the greatest thing ever. Like, he's so great. And just, we're both still learning each other.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're about to come up to a year of marriage.
That's
which is
insane.
Crazy. Yeah. So it's like,
I feel like y'all got married like
2 months ago.
That's literally how it feels.
We're about to be 2 months to a year. So it's, the Lord is great if you submit to him and just allow him to be the Lord of your life and the Lord of your marriage too. That, you know, me and my husband, we don't ever fight. We don't ever have arguments. We might have a disagreement, but it's never hard, and where we can come to each other and be like, hey, like, this wasn't okay. What are we gonna do from here?
Yeah, this hurt me. Yeah.
Learning how to communicate with him and just grow together. And it's just my favorite time. I think, like, my favorite time, I think it was like the other week, it's just, he was like, let's pray together, you know? And I literally was like, I felt like I fell in love with him all over again.
Man,
I was like,
look, when your husband does the things that he's supposed to do in the Lord and just covers you in prayer and in the word, it's like, you're the most amazing man and the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life.
In my life.
In my life.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, do you know you're handsome?
Do you get it?
Do you know how much I love you?
And Emerson's just looking at me. I'm like, you're just the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life.
Literally. It's just the Lord is so great of just learning how to submit to him. Because you submit to the Lord, you submit to your husband. And it's beautiful. The Lord just speaks to you and shows you what's next in your family. Understanding of when you've let things into your house that shouldn't be let into your house. And I remember even in our marriage, I battled with a lot of spiritual, like, just trying to understand it more. Because now I'm in this new stage of being a wife, and you're attacked more in your marriage because the devil doesn't like it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And so
it's crazy. I heard someone say the devil didn't come until they got married.
Yeah.
Until they became one. That's when the devil came.
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah. I was like, that is so true.
That's mind blowing.
Because we're here to advance the kingdom of God.
And it was weird because I saw a little bit more of it, and he was like, and the spiritual warfare goes all the way. He said, because of that, the first murder was their 2 kids.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
That is crazy.
The devil hates the family unit. He hates it.
Because it enhances the kingdom of God.
Oh, yeah.
It builds it up.
Every relationship displays some part of the father, whether it's the mother or the wife, like the marriage, the family, the children, all of it.
Yeah. It's crazy. And just to have a husband who prays for you constantly and just to be with you. I was struggling with even like, I used to get a lot of dreams when I was younger. And I explained it to my husband. I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, I can't remember my dreams right now. Going through this, I'm having nightmares where I'm waking up gasping for air. It feels weird. And him just praying for me. And then even being the women's prayer group praying and the Lord healing that and just like allowing me to see dreams and allowing to see where the enemy has slightly creeped in and that where you need to be like, no.
Powerful.
You gotta just cut it out. And so it's great. I think the Lord is great.
Yeah, we could go so much longer
I
than
know,
what we're doing. Because I literally was about to be like, and then when you realize it and we start going into spiritual warfare, but I'm not going to do that because we've already went over an hour, which is crazy.
That is crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
It's like it's only 20 minutes.
I know, but I will have you on again. Honestly, I think we're probably going to have both of y'all on soon.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun. Anyways, this was amazing. I had such a beautiful time. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching us, and we will be back again. Love you guys.